Hi everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to my channel. Press a like button, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and if you've been subscribed, thank you so much for being one of the over 2,165 subscribers. I appreciate all of you. I get so excited when I get a new subscriber. I get so excited when I see a new comment, and I read every comment that I see, and I love responding to you guys. And I also love it when you respond to other people's comments. Thank you so much. Also, for a lot of the other YouTube channels, thank you for helping me with the content. You help me a lot when you answer a lot of the questions that are being posed out there in the comment section. I try my best to get as fast as possible to the comments. Obviously, during work hours, I'm not legally able to respond to these comments. When I'm off work, I am legally able to respond to these comments. So today was over 109 degrees. So I'm in my garage right now, I guess the man cave, which is not really a man cave, it's called a man volcano. I mean, it is hot in here. So forgive me if I start sweating on camera. Today's video, we're gonna do a tactical analysis of the Buffalo, New York massacre. And we are going to zone in on private security guard Aaron Salter. Aaron Salter was working private security at that time. I don't think he was wearing his body armor, but I do believe he was armed, and I do believe that he engaged the gunman. I don't want to specify or name who this gunman is. We don't want to glorify that person. I also want to give special thanks to the Advancing Security YouTube channel. I've been off of social media for some time, meaning I've been off of Facebook, and I've been trying to avoid the news. Every time I watch the news, the information that's presented, it's just so depressing. It just puts me down here, and I just don't like to be down here most of the day. It's just too much negativity. So I do keep up with YouTube. This is one of the channels that I am subscribed to. So make sure that you guys subscribe to Advancing Security YouTube channel. This is where I got the content. I didn't even know that there was a massacre. I know that there was a shooting somewhere, but I didn't understand the significance of it until I saw the video on the Advancing Security channel. So thank you very much for that. So let's talk about sorry guys, it's getting hot in here. I'm trying to push this information forward right now as fast as I can. The tactical analysis of the situation is as follows. I want to concentrate on shot placement. At a lot of private security training schools, they teach to shoot at center mass, and I think you might have a hard time seeing this. Okay, you're taught to fire or hit center mass, which would be along this whole region. In California, if you fail the exposed firearm permit course, you got to really work on your marksmanship and gun handling, because that course you can probably pass with your eyes closed as long as you're positioned in front of the target. But usually in most state scoring charts for private security for the armed carry permit around this whole region here is acceptable. What I want you to do is redefine where you're aiming at. So all this area right here, I want this to be your center mass. And I drew a line from here, goes all the way over here, and I try to shade in as much as possible. If you're looking at this target, if you're an experienced shooter, then you should notice some clusters. And these clusters will provide information to you. I shot this target a lot at various distances. I moved and shot. I shot at 50 yards, all over the place. And I placed targets at different parts of this silhouette here. But as you can notice, that this target region here, this was at 5 yards. Okay, this was at 5 yards. And this area also, there used to be a triangle here. This was also at 5 yards as well. So here's my cluster. I try to go as fast as possible, and this is what I was able to hit. So just in case you're trying to read the silhouette. So I want you to start focusing around this area, and I want you to focus on something called a failure drill. And let me talk to you about the history of the failure drill. In the failure drill, well, the failure drill was developed by Gunsight founder Jeff Cooper, Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Cooper at Gunsight. And the original drill was called the Mozambique drill. And what you would do is you'd make 2 hits, okay, center mass, and then you would hit up here. So your cadence or your throttle would sound like this. That. If these rounds didn't stop the person, then a face shot, we're not gonna call it a head shot, we'll call it a face shot. This is the region that you should be focused on. Should put out the threat according to the failure drill. It was designed to do that. The Mozambique drill, there was no evaluation of the target, of the threat. The evaluation of the threat came after several LAPD special unit officers arrived at Gunsight, and they started putting in their input. First they said, hey, we're not gonna call it a Mozambique drill. That drill just sounds totally racist. We're gonna call it a failure drill. So what ends up happening is this, and this is what the drill designed to do. So you hit your attacker 2 times, center mass, and now our center mass, we're putting it up in this region. And then the third hit will be right here in the face region if this person needs it. So this person doesn't go down, you evaluate, and then a headshot. And guys, when I'm talking about evaluation, if you make 2 hits, 1, 2, you don't wait until now to do the third hit. I'm talking about this. This is how quick it needs to be. All shots need to be somewhere under 2 seconds. It should sound like this. Okay, these are your failure drill. This is the failure drill throttle. And just like this. Okay, a little bit under 2 seconds. I'm working on a 1.5 seconds. 2 seconds I'm more comfortable with. My end goal is I want to try doing it in a 1.5 seconds. Okay. So that's your failure drill. Why do we need to start focusing in this region here? Well, bad guys wear body armor. So this is my body armor. This part right here is not armor. This is just part of the cloth. In reality, the body armor is only outlined like this, such. So if you're making these 2 impacts right here, and then the third shot will be in the facial region, you'll have a greater chance of success of putting down the threat here. So this area right here in my vest, this region, okay, would be this region here that I drew with the Sharpie. Guys, practice your throttle, practice your marksmanship skills. I know I got a little bit of flack for encouraging you guys to practice at 25 yards. I'm gonna say this again. You need to be practicing, in addition to practicing at various distances, 3 yards, 5 yards, 7, 15, throw in your routine of training, throw in 25 yards. If you can make a hit in a combat effective zone at 25 yards, you will have little difficulty making impacts at 7 yards, at 5 yards, making those failure drill hits at 5 yards or 7 yards. Very little difficulty. If you're able to hit 25 yards, you'll have a lot of confidence in making those hits at closer ranges. Okay? I do not encourage private security guards to attempt to make a 25-yard hit. There's so much liability that attaches to that. So if you're in a grocery store, let's just say if you decide to take a prone position or a kneeling position at 25 yards, well, you're gonna have less, for sure, during the shooting, you're gonna have less peripheral vision, okay? And then you're lower to the ground, so your vision's gonna be more restricted. You're not gonna see that person that's gonna be rushing in front of your line of fire. Okay, there's an active shooter incident, you're focusing on stopping the threat, there's gonna be somebody running across the aisles, and you might end up being that guard that is going to hit the wrong person. Also, another reason why I don't encourage you guys to take 25 yards shots is because most private security officers, beyond what is required of them, beyond what the state requires of them. They don't go out there to these training courses that are intermediate, that are advanced. The majority of them just qualify 2 times a year, sometimes once a year. How do I know that? Because I talk to them. Guys, I work with police officers. I don't know of a lot of police officers that I work with that go out and train on their own dollar. If they're required to train, then they'll train. And these law enforcement agencies, most of the time, they just give you the bare minimum, because when there's a budget slash or budget cut, the first thing that's cut out of a law enforcement budget is training. So all these courses I go to, and I try to go to 3 to 4 a year, I pay out of my own pocket. Okay, I pay out of my pocket, and I try to stay as proficient as possible. I feel comfortable making a 25-yard shot. And if it comes down to it, I will hit you at 61 yards with iron sights. I will hit you at 61 yards at iron sights. That's a guarantee. How do I know that? Because I go out to those distances. Am I gonna ever have to make have I ever made a 61-yard shot? No, I've not. But could I? Or is there is there always that probability that I might? Yes, there's always that probability, you guys. The other reason why I want you to at least practice, I'm not saying take hits at 25 yards, but practice, or make hits at 25 yards, practice, is because look at your grocery stores. Look at your warehouses. So if you go to Walmart, okay, your assailant might be at one end of the aisle, and you'll be at this end of the aisle. Okay, guys, so the distance between the furthest wall that's from my front door, that distance between my front door and my rearmost wall is 11 yards. 25 yards isn't too far. I've been in warehouses where there's 50-yard distances, you guys. So if somebody popped out at 50 yards, I would have to take that shot. There's even 100-yard warehouses out there. I mean, they're rare. I don't know, have you guys ever passed through the Skechers warehouse in the Riverside area? You'll probably see 100-yard distances between one place inside the warehouse to another. Should you be taking 100-yard shots? No, you shouldn't, but at least prepare for the worst case scenario. Going back to that unfaithful day, or not unfaithful, but to that horrible day that Aaron Salters experienced, and also those that lost their life, going back to that horrible moment, you guys, make sure you wear your body armor. Now, I'm not out here encouraging you to wear hard armor plates. Hard armor plates, wearing them there's a heavy toll on your body that it places. I'm 162 pounds. I should be 142 pounds. If I get the cheapest plate possible, that would be a level 3, but the cheapest plate, meaning the heaviest plate, that'll probably maybe run me about $150. 5 pounds is not uncommon, you guys. Imagine you're putting 5 pounds here and another 5 pounds here. That's 10 pounds of gear in addition to your 12 or 13 pounds of equipment. If you want to wear hard armor plates, that's a choice that is totally up to you. But I just don't think the current threats call for me wearing hard armor plates. I work in a law enforcement capacity at the Mexican border. Guys, I don't wear hard armor plates unless there's a call for service, there's some that calls for a tactical response, then I'll throw a plate in there. Actually I'll wear my plate carrier. But on daily patrols, I just don't see the need to wear it every single moment of time. If you're working the floors, you're working 8 hours straight, 12 hours straight, it is just wearing that extra stuff is gonna play a toll on your lower back. It's gonna pay a toll on your shoulders. Now, if I worked in some areas, maybe Los Angeles, Portland, was it Denver, some places in New York, Phoenix, some of these areas, and depending on the type of post I'm assigned to, I would wear a hard armor plate. Now, the lightest ones that I've seen is about 2.9 pounds. Level 3 though, okay, level 3, they'll stop majority of, I think 7.62 by 39, that's the round that comes out of AK-47 usually, and then your 5.56. Okay. Some of them will not stop the green tip, which is your military issue round, but for the most part, they'll stop both of those rounds. It's about I think Defend Armor has them at 2.9 pounds, and you're going to be paying somewhere between $300 to $500. But guys, the plates are like this thick. So I have one of those plates. I have them in my locker at work. If I put them in, it'll push my vest outwards like this, and I'll have chafing all around here, and I won't have any room for my body camera. On another vest though, this is another vest that I have. I just rather put on a carrier if the detail or the call demands that I wear it. But it is light, and that one is about maybe 3.5 pounds. I tried it wearing it for a week straight, and I just couldn't get adjusted to it. So the lighter the plates, the more expensive it is. Okay, so I'm gonna pay $300 to $500 for this plate. What I would rather do is I would rather spend that money in training. Okay, I go to some intermediate training, go to some advanced firearms training, where I can learn how to fight and actually survive. Okay, guys, on the failure drill, I don't want to sound repetitive, but please, it's this. This is a throttle control on that, not this. If you wait too long, you're gonna end up a goner. Okay, those 2 hits. Remember, focus in this area here. Now, there's some studies out there that show whoever makes the first 2 hits wins the gunfight. The first 2 hits. So if you pull that trigger, you're in an active shooter situation, make those hits count, ladies and gentlemen. Make it count. I also want to tell you that in real life, just doing exactly like this, 2 hits and then one in the face, as an assessment, it may not turn out like that in reality. What ends up happening is you're firing at the guy, you're impacting him, but the guy, he's just moving around still. I mean, he's moving around, and you're thinking, like, what the hell is wrong with my gun? Why isn't it working? Why is he still up? In the movies, he just falls down, but why is he still up? That's real life, you guys. That's real. This is a realistic evaluation of what happens. Not all the time, but don't be surprised. You can make 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and the person will just be up. They'll be upstanding and still engaging in a threat to you. So, at the very minimum, 2 and 1. If you have to do 4 and 1, do so. But I just want you to know the reality of it. It doesn't happen exactly like that, 2 hits and then one they're down. I prefer to move while I shoot. 2 and then 1 while I try to flank this person. Obviously, you're standing still. You're gonna have more hits on target. But that's what I like to do. I like to move and shoot. So let me know what you guys think. I want to know your analysis of this tragedy that happened. Let me know what your thoughts are. Looking forward to dialogue. You guys all take care and be safe.